This is a totally different podcast episode that I usually do because here I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first conference for freelancers that made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 15th, 16th, 2024. If you are a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Florian Alexander Hähnel, a freelance product owner and IT project lead with 20 plus years of background in the IT sphere, from video creation, being a tech lead in a digital marketing agency, to finally freelancing. So, hello, Florian.
Hi, Yuri. Thanks for having me on the show.
Super happy to talk to you. Since you have such a great experience in freelancing, please tell me, how did you start your journey in the freelance world?
Pretty unexpected. So I was about in 2019 to take a big motorcycle tour, like celebrate my new freedom. And well, what should I say? It didn't got me far away. Just a bit closer to Berlin. Starting from the Munich area. And then I unfortunately had a small accident. Nothing got hurt besides a few bruises and a broken motorcycle. But
Wow.
yeah, so I was then sitting a week along in the beautiful Spreewald area, a bit south of Berlin. And it was summer, August 2019. And I was contemplating my life, not just the motorcycle that got broken, but yeah, contemplating my life. And I thought, well, why not everybody? If everybody else can be a freelancer, why can't I? And so I started investigating how to be a freelancer, and like yeah, how to get jobs as a
Hmm.
freelancer, and maybe also finding out first in which direction as a freelancer I want to go. I mean, I had a variety of digital marketing background, but I was more turned into IT. And so yeah, I started listing myself on these various platforms, and compiled a new CV. And the day before Christmas, I got a call from somebody saying, we have a client here who desperately needs a product owner. Does that sound interesting to you? And yeah, I mean, it was like then between August and December is actually a very long time. And yeah, if you're like new to the freelancing world, it can take a bit of time. And so I did for myself. And I ended up beginning of 2020 in Düsseldorf with the Metro to help them in a transformation of one team to fill in a gap there. And yeah, I got myself a shared apartment there. Was ready to start there 1st of February 2020, and we were exactly for 6 weeks in the office, and then COVID hit. So
And the
that
rest,
that
the
was my
rest is
story.
history. So, when you told that you like started searching in August and then
Yeah.
you had your first client in December and started in February, so how did you feel since August till December?
Yeah, actually, as let's say, I really started looking and preparing and everything like mid of September. And well, in the beginning, it was like I don't know what to expect. I didn't have any feelings, and yes, of course, as the weeks turn by, it's like, will I ever get a project and everything? The positive thing was I was allowed to get money from the unemployed insurance,
Hmm.
and so I didn't worry too much. I have saved a little bit on the side, so this wasn't a big worry. But yeah, I was like actively applying for things. I was trying for new platforms, and see if, I don't know, if LinkedIn something comes on. Just getting familiar with all this stuff. And yeah, sometimes it was a bit frustrating. Say, oh, I will never get a job, a project. And yeah, patience turns out to be king. Even
Usual.
now, if I in between projects, is still as patient is the king. And there are also weeks when I think, then, oh God, I will never get a project again. And then there are weeks where it's like, your phone is never still, and you get so many offers that it's hard to decide then in the end.
Sounds like usual freelancers mindset. Oh my God, I will never work again. And then like, oh yeah, everything is great. I'm the best.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster ride always.
Exactly. So recently you switched, not recently, you switched your legal entity from freelancer to a GmbH. Why did you do that?
Well, in general, in hindsight, and in general, I might should have done that from the beginning. Would have been a little less hassle to the actual legal and tax wise transformation that is quite expensive. So
Hmm.
um, the thing was, in the beginning, I was not quite sure how long will I be freelancer. Is there something permanently? And then after 2 years, I think I was considering switching to the GmbH legal entity. I think in English the comparable term would be a limited.
Mhm.
And the idea behind it was that on one hand side, in the IT world, you never know. So the GmbH gives you this limit liability. And in the IT world, you never know. You always have the feeling that with one step and one foot, you're already in jail. My tax lawyer then told me, yeah, for him it's like he's already with both feet in jail. So this was one aspect. The other aspect, of course, was that I was considering, okay, I will do that for a very long time, and only then it makes sense to switch to that form, because it's like from once you have a GmbH, it's like nothing that you earn will be your own privately, but
Mhm.
instead it always belongs to this legal entity GmbH. And so it only makes sense like if you really have a plan, leaving the money there, and have plans what to do with it. And in my case, I thought, okay, my long-term goal is that one day I won't be like renting out myself, but instead maybe have some employers, and do other stuff as well. And the other aspect is also a legal one. It's like with when you're a freelancer, and let's say, for example, take a graphics designer. And in Germany, you can only be a freelancer either if you are in one of a few kind of businesses, if you're a lawyer, if you have a pharmacy, if you, I don't know, there's a fixed list they have, and everything
Mm.
else beyond this is up to courts and tax office to decide if
Hmm.
you can be called yourself a freelancer or not. And one definition there is like you have to be either a consultant in a way, or be a very creative person. But for example, if you are a designer and you design websites, for example, then this is perfectly fine, because then you really just have the creation. But if you then also print out things and sell these print out things to your clients, then you're no longer a freelancer, because you are not just, it's not creative enough to print something out and sell it. No, then this is a normal business, and you cannot be considered a freelancer anymore. So the definition in Germany for freelancer is legally wise pretty narrow. And for a person who is I don't know, being an engineer, a developer, and always wants to be just a developer and engineer all their life, then this is perfectly fine. But
Mhm.
for me as a product owner, it was like, okay, what if I want to do things that go a little bit beyond being a product owner, or go a little bit beyond this IT project management? Then it could be that this is not exactly 100% by tax office means and court rulings versus a freelancer status. So I was always there kind of in between chairs, and this was then the main reason to say, okay, together with the limited liability, it would be a smart idea to switch that, especially because I think I will do that for 10, 20 years at least, and then it might be worth it.
So basically, with limited liability, you can e- easily add some additional services to what you are doing and be no worry about tax and legal
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, it's like the limited liability is more like, yeah, you fuck up somewhere, and of course you should have an insurance for that. But just in the worst case ever, and you know, in German you would say the devil is a squirrel. So yeah, um, it could always happen. So this is one aspect to help there to yeah, just limit your personal risk on that, at least financial wise. And really the other aspect is like be open, not just to do the next 20 years the freelancing thing, but also consider maybe other aspects of product ownership. Because over time I learned, like in the product owner field, there is a very, very, very rich diversity. There are people who have studied computer science. There are people who have studied social science, maybe, and became a product owner. And but there's not like, besides you can be certified as a Scrum certified product owner, of course. But beyond this, this is where there's very little education out there, and very little exchange out there. And so maybe I would like to help out there as well.
So you already decided to be like a long-term freelancer and maybe even have some employees. So what is your take on the freelance economy and how it will develop in the future?
I think it's like very vital. It's ever changing. So of course there are new regulations coming up, and during my past 4 years, I was like got kicked out of one project because the internal lawyers of this company, and it was a big consumer electronics company. Um, they decided, oh wait, all the freelancers that we have, especially in the role of product owner, they take decisions for us as a company. So like which ticket maybe as a product owner to prioritize and stuff. And this would have a compliance issues. And so that was quite new to me. Never thought of that aspect, but for them as a legal team, it was clear that this is a risk to the company, and so they could not keep freelance product owners anymore. I think there was a slight difference with the engineers, but yeah, all of the freelance product owners had to leave by end of next month. Was a blow to the project that we were working in, was a blow to the teams and the company, but yeah, that's how it
Wow.
goes.
It looks like not every company is ready to work with freelancers so far.
Let's say I think it was a bit easier in the past, and with more and more, especially in Europe, unfortunately, and especially in Germany, even more, it got a bit challenging. And it really is like you can ask 5 lawyers and you get 20 different answers. So is really like it depends from company to company to company to company. And but in general, considering all the crises that we had in the past 4 years, so that it was the Corona crisis, of course, then unfortunately the war in the Ukraine, then we had the inflation, and now last year it was I think recession. Everybody was scared of recessions, so I'm not sure what will come this year. So we have to see. But even through all these crises, it was always relatively easy to find a project as a freelancer. And I even in the worst crisis, I always got like offers, and people were desperately looking and so on. But it might have like a pause of a few months. So just the recent one, the recession last year, I thought last year would be the year where I go from one project to the next one and nothing will happen because we had everything already, and there can't be any new thing. And then it was that in the US, people were afraid of a recession. And so even the companies in Germany and Europe started hiring people, laid off freelancers. And I mean, in the meantime, I've been in connections with all these agencies out there, and everybody told me, yes, like the worst thing ever happened. And like they laid off so many freelancers. And when you go to one of these portals, freelancer.de, freelancer.map, no,
Mhm.
freelancermap.de or .com, um, there it was like you can see if you're logged in how many people have applied for one job. And that was the first time that I saw applications with 100 plus
Wow.
people applying for one position. And but this only took like 2 months, and then from, I think it was May on, they went like crazy again. So they really crazily wanted to hire people again. So yeah.
So it's like usual freelancer cycles, like ups and downs and all the stuff.
Exactly. It's always like a wave scheme, and it mainly would be very nice to stay on top of all these waves, but it really depends, like when your project is starting, when your project is ending, and what's the situation in the market then. But in general, I would really say it's a stable economy. Actually, it's more growing since COVID, so more tech jobs became available. Of course, I cannot speak for all the different varieties of freelancer jobs.
Yeah.
I'm mostly interested in tech jobs. But yeah, there's always a niche and always a demand for things. And yeah, of course, you learn there's seasonality. So around Christmas and during the summer break, nobody or hardly you will get hired.
Exactly. And I feel like we will talk a lot about these things at Freelance Unlocked, by the way.
Mhm.
So give me a sneak peek into what you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
Actually, it will be, I think, like what we talk here, but in more detail. So I really would like to recap my 4 years of what it was like to become a freelancer, how the four things went, for the 4 years went, and really digging deep down. I mean, I was told I have like 30 minutes to talk about. So there's a plenty of time to talk, but yes, in general, going more into the details about how it was becoming a freelancer, in like how is it going, what are my resources, what are my learnings, and what are my challenges and the learnings out of that. So I think this is hopefully valuable for a lot of people, and it's maybe a bit more into, let's say, beginners in freelancing, people who maybe are not even freelancers but consider becoming a freelancer. So I hope I can help there. And yeah, whoever has a question, I can already put that out now. It's like, please just ask during the talk, after the talk. There will be plenty of time to answer questions. So it should be really like an exchange of learnings, being a freelancer, and also developing maybe a small plan how to be a freelancer.
Let's start this conversation already. So the number one question that I always hear from beginner and freelancers is, how do you find projects? I'm starting to be a freelancer. How do I find projects?
Yeah.
So what is your take on that?
There was exactly the first question that came to my mind when I was considering being a freelancer, and luckily, the internet is a big help to that. So, really, depending on the area, I would first of all pimp up my profile on LinkedIn. Maybe considering building a website, at least with some basic informations there. It's like it doesn't need to be super fancy. I mean, most of the it's more like for you to condense again what you are and what you offer. So this should be very clear to you. And then if you know that, yeah, there are a lot of platforms out there. I can send a list afterwards. No, it's like freelancer.de, Malt is a one, the top IT service. Then of course on LinkedIn itself as well, and there are plenty of other ones out there. And just make a profile there. Then look for like what they have to offer at the moment. Maybe set an alarm, an alert, like or even a news. I think they offer also newsletters, plenty,
Yeah.
to send you the newest offers for jobs and projects. And if you start, then don't get confused if you won't hear back from them. It's like sometimes they just get plenty of stuff. And also there are always like an agency in between this platform and then the client. So also just contact directly the agency, and they also have the opportunity to take profiles there and set up alerts and stuff. So this is
And
the first way to go.
sounds like you have to be really active and not just creating profiles, but also reaching out to people and
Yeah,
telling, hey, I'm expert, I'm
definitely helps.
open.
Yeah. Also, get get the word out that you are out looking for a job. Also, don't be shy. Put it on LinkedIn. Put it on your friends. Put it everywhere. So because you never know where the next job will come from. I did have experiences that jobs come from people just calling you who you have never heard of, because they got by the word of mouth, hearing from you that you do that. And so yeah, just be very active. And I know it's hard for people who maybe are a bit more um, shy in general terms.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's totally worth it, and it's always a good training. So it's like with every time you do that, you get more confident in everything. And don't worry, you can't be wrong. If there's something wrong, people will tell you. So it's also, I always got valuable feedback, so there was nothing like a bad experience actually for me.
What is one thing that was hard for you at the very beginning of your journey? And now you just like, it was hard. No way, it was hard.
Yeah, of course. Getting the first project itself, and like getting the feedback. Am I on the right way? um, and never lose hope. And as we have talked about, it's like it will come back. So once you have finished your first project and then you're looking for the next one, it could happen that there's something out of your possibilities. To you don't have that in hand if there's a national crisis or whatever. So just always look positive, be vocal about what you have to offer. And this is something that is way more familiar with me now, so I maybe can smile about that.
What is something every freelancer must do right away to improve their professional experience, to improve their freelancing journey?
Right away, that's a tough one. I mean, I would say like not necessarily right away, but yeah, well, right away is like you really need to be very specific about what you offer and whatnot. And you also need to be very specific with yourself, what kind of projects you would like to do and whatnot. So it doesn't help if you take a project that you feel you don't really like, but you have to take it,
Hmm.
because in most of the cases it turns out that the client notices, everybody in the project notices that you're not really happy there. And then it's like a very unsatisfying situation for everybody. So it can happen. It happened to me a few times as well, so that after 6 months you also find out that okay, what originally was talked about, how the project should be and everything, is not how it is. And I don't feel that I can help there anymore. So
Yeah.
then you have to split ways and everything. But this is like the first, be very specific what you offer, what you like to do, and only do the things that you really feel good about doing, in regards of your knowledge, and also regards of your feeling with that specific client and the specific team. And yeah, also try to get to know the team.
Yeah, I heard it so many times that being desperate and like taking projects just because you don't like, but you kind of like need money, you need to work,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
always get freelancer in troubles. Like it
yeah.
was never the case, it was good, but yeah, I totally agree with you. And You definitely will share your experience, more of your experience at Freelance Unlocked. And what would you say to your friend if they asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked conference?
My freelancing friends, they're all invited, of course. They all have their tickets. They're all coming. But for friends who are not yet, don't have the ticket yet, I would say it's really essential to meet other people with the same issues and problems and the same challenges in life. So this was the one of the hardest things actually starting a freelancer. It's like I didn't have friends who are freelancers. I didn't have friends who are on their own, who are self-employed or have a business even. So this was like the hardest part, to find people to answer the questions that you have as being a freelancer, being self-employed. And I think the Freelance Unlocked, that will be a very nice spot for everybody with these questions to meet and exchange and learn something new.
I also feel like it will be some kind of a group therapy. So you are going in one place where everyone has the same challenges as you, the same struggles, but
Yeah.
also have not just challenges, but also some keys and some tips and tricks on how to overcome those challenges. And you can just listen to amazing speakers for sure, and then just sit in a circle and just exchange experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think the most important part is not just the listening to the what the speakers have to tell you, but really then, and I think it feels to me that this conference is the type of conference where it's not two worlds, so the person on the stage and then the audience, but no, it's really an interactive conference where you can, before, after, and during the talks, talk to the speakers, talk to other people there as well. And it's really like we together move forward. And this is what I really like about my freelance friends. It's always like community over competition, you could say. So it's
Yeah.
really like we help each other out, but because in the end, it's like if I have a project and I got a question, an offer from another one, and I can't help there, but I know a friend who would be perfectly fit there, then I would be so stupid just to not to forward that person, because it's like it comes back to me as very good, because I made a useful referral to someone, or a useful recommendation, and also the other person is happy and the client is happy, the agency is happy. So it's like we are one really big family, almost, you could say.
Yeah.
And it really is so valuable to have an exchange, to know each other, to grow together.
Yeah, community over competition. I just love this phrase. Thank you very much for saying it out loud. And before the conference, what is the best way to connect with you?
Well, obviously, LinkedIn, I think, is the totally best way, because everybody's on LinkedIn
Exactly.
nowadays. So there was, I think, a German alternative, but they choose more to become a job portal itself, but not for freelancers, but for employees. I think they called Crossing before Xing. But yeah, I think LinkedIn would be nice. Otherwise, you can always shoot me a mail, flo@productowner.company, not .com, .company. That's also happy to answer any questions beforehand, and also if you want to have a coffee chat, also very happy to do that.
Super amazing. Florian, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom even before the conference. And I can wait to learn even more from you on Freelance Unlocked and hope to see you there very soon in person.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy seeing people in person again. You can have real coffee breaks.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's not
With
like
real
everybody is
coffee.
just going away from their screen and coming back with a cup of coffee. No, you meet people when you get coffee, not just your coffee machine, but you meet people there.
Totally, totally. Florian, thank you so much. And yeah, hope to see you there.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and see you at Freelance Unlocked in Berlin.
Anytime. And for those who listen to this episode, I hope you follow Florian's advice, connect with him, implement the advice, and say thank you to him in person at the Freelance Unlocked conference on May 15th, 16th in Berlin. So go to freelanceunlocked.com, grab your ticket, and meet you there.